The film begins on Pandora, with Jake Contaminate, Sam Worthington, recapping his life since joining the Na'vi as head of the Omaticaya group. He and Neytiri, Zoe Saldana, have become guardians to Netayam, Lok, and Tuk, alongside one more taken on, girl, Kiri, who is the natural little girl of Elegance Augustine's Na'vi symbol. The children likewise invest energy with a human kid, Spider, who was abandoned with the human researchers after the past gathering cleared Pandora, since infants couldn't be placed into crynostasis. While the youngsters view Spider as something of a cousin, Neytiri feels the kid would be in an ideal situation with different people. To a limited extent because of her own contempt of the Sky individuals, while everything appears to be euphoric, Jake's bliss is immediately broken when transports of RDA ships start to drop upon Pandora, obliterating gigantic pieces of the woods and killing the untamed life. Jake and Neytiri get their kids and the other, Na'vi, to somewhere safe, yet Jake holds his better half as they watch with dismay at the obliteration abandoned. After 1 year, Colonel Miles Quaritch, Stephen Lang, awakens revived in his own symbol body. While he goes after his previous colleagues, all now in their own Na'vi skins, Quaritch before long acknowledges what occurred in the wake of watching a video log he passed on himself before their past endeavored mission to destroy the Na'vi's tree of spirits before he and his group were undeniably killed. In the wake of social occasion their new weaponry, Quaritch chooses to lead a group back onto Pandora in view of one objective, killing Jake. The RDA has colonized Pandora and constructed a mining base, alongside a settlement called Bridgehead City. Jake drives a few Na'vi to fly their chagrin to go after the people's airplane and supply lines. Netayam and Lok endeavor to join the battle, almost getting seriously harmed simultaneously. Jake gets them to somewhere safe and secure, however reprimands them for placing themselves in the line of fire. The gathering gets back to their camp with the remainder of the tribe. Jake talks about with Neytiri what these progressions are meaning for their youngsters' lives. In the interim, Spider joins Lok and Kiri as they go to the Humans Examination Office where Norm Spellman, Joel David Moore, and Max Patel, Dilip Rao, keep on working. Kiri converses with effortlessness symbol as her body lies in the tank. Spider then takes note of that his Na'vi companions basically know their folks. While he knows and despises who his dad was, Quaritch and his group show up at their base and meet General Francis Ardmore, Edie Falco, who refreshes him on their activities since his time being dead. Ardmore advises them regarding the benefits the Omaticaya have on them prior to letting them know how they can acquire their own high ground. The group enters the backwoods at precisely the same time that Jake's children and Spider are playing there. While Kiri drenches herself in the nature, different children spot Quaritch and his group as they study the previous connection unit for the people and their symbols. He finds his skeleton inside the AMP suit where he was killed. The villains track down the children, and they understand they are Jake's children since they have 5 fingers. Quaritch meets Spider and acknowledges he is the kid's dad. Quaritch brings in Ardmore and her crew to descend while he accepts other children as prisoners. Jake and Neytiri are made aware of the scene, and both are staggered to see their enemy alive and in a Na'vi body. Neytiri kills a portion of Quaritch's group before they open fire. She and Jake figure out how to get their children back, yet Quaritch and his enduring partners fall back, taking Spider with them. Ardmore subjects the kid to a torment technique to inspire him to uncover data on the family's area, however Quaritch stops her and selects to attempt to draw nearer to Spider to procure his trust. He persuades Spider to ride alongside him on their central goal, or, in all likelihood the researchers will probe him. Jake converses with Neytiri about leaving the tribe now that they are being designated. While Neytiri would rather not leave her home, Jake guarantees her that it is best for their youngsters and the remainder of the group. He gives initiative to another fighter, Tarsum, and he leaves the group with Neytiri and their youngsters. They fly their chagrin and make a beeline for the eastern seaboard to the home of the Meetkaina faction of Na'vi. The family accumulates with their chief, Tanawari, Cliff Curtis, and his pregnant wife, Ronal, Kate Winslet. Jake demands cover for his family, However, Ronal and different tribesmen rush to peer down on Jake and his children for their half-human legacy, as well as the capability of carrying their threats to this land. In any case, Tanawari regards the achievement of the Toruk Makto and permits them to remain, and furthermore teaches his kids Aonung and Sireya to tell Jake's youngsters the best way to adjust to their maritime environmental elements. Quaritch and his group take Spider through the woodland, with Spider turning into their interpreter for the Na'vi language that the group is as yet attempting to learn. Quaritch additionally figures out how to connect himself to his own Ikran, but more strongly than the Omaticaya. Jake's children join Aonung and Sireya, in addition to Aonung's companion Rodxo, as they investigate the reef. Sireya shows that they speak with the submerged animals through gesture-based communication, and they connect to them the same way the Omaticaya connect to their creatures. Nonetheless, when Locke endeavors to interface with an animal, he is gotten rapidly through the water and is perplexed. In the meantime, Kiri has a more regular association with the animals and assists one of them with cooperating with Tug. Jake and Neytiri are told the best way to fly the Tsurik, which can move in the air as well as submerged. Locke draws nearer to Sireya, who tells him the best way to better his breathing submerged. He additionally takes him and his sisters more profound submerged by utilizing animals that give air while laying on their backs. Be that as it may, Aonung and Rodxo are posing toward Kiri for her being viewed as a crossbreed, prompting Locke smacking Aonung right upside the head. Netayam participates in the battle alongside Aonung's companions, prompting Jake reproving his children for their way of behaving. Jake powers Locke to apologize to Aonung. He does as such, and Aonung welcomes Locke to chase with him and his companions. They go far enough until they stunt Locke into pursuing an animal, not long before he and his animal are gone after by an Akula that kills Locke's mount prior to pursuing him. Locke endeavors to swim back up before he runs winded, yet the Akula endeavors to show no mercy until Locke is saved by a whale-like animal called a tulkun, named Pagan. Locke follows Pagan and finds a spear caught in his blade, so he eliminates it and procures Pagan's trust. Jake addresses Kiri, who has been feeling different of late because of how the situation was playing out. She guarantees she can feel the heartbeat of their goddess Iwa, and that it is strong. Jake guarantees her that her checks out. Everybody then sees Locke return, and Tanawari chides Aonung for driving Locke past the reef when it is taboo, yet Locke assumes the fault for all that to save Aonung from causing problems. Jake lets Locke know that he has disgraced the family with his activities, yet Aonung comes to regard Locke. Locke tells his kin, in addition to Sireya and the other Omaticaya, about his experience with Pagan. However, Sireya illuminates Locke that Pagan is viewed as an outsider among the other tulkun. After Locke endeavors to speak with Pagan to find out about his set of experiences, Sireya takes the others toward the bay of their progenitors, showing them how the land looks during the obscuration. She likewise directs them submerged to the Omaticaya tree of spirits. At the point when Kiri associates herself to the tree, she can see and speak with beauty. Be that as it may, Kiri before long experiences a horrible seizure, and her kin take her back to the shore. Caligula Wainfleet illuminates him regarding a radar lifted up off the gunship that Norm and Max came in on. The miscreants then get together with a whaling vessel worked by Chief Mick Scoresby and Dr. Ian Garvin to give them a greater amount of a benefit, since they are now hunting tulkun for hostile to maturing cures. The Omaticaya bond with their tulkun, including Ronal and her spirit sister Roa. Before long, Quaritch and his group appear. They savagely kill a tulkun and compromise a Omaticaya lady except if they unveil the area of Jake and his loved ones. Spider becomes frightened and attempts to get his dad to stop. The bad guys then start to torch their trees and homes. Quaritch orders his group to go after to attract Jake to them. Yet again Locke attempts to ask Pagan how he made him a pariah. Pagan opens his mouth and permits Locke to enter him and connection with him. Locke sees Pagan's recollections and sees that he went after the whalers since they killed his mom and family. Locke endeavors to hand off this new data to the Omaticaya, however Jake attempts to quiet him down with the goal that they don't gamble further distancing the Omaticaya. Locke converses with Sireya about this, and she puts stock in him. The whalers start their assault, sending off spears loaded up with inflatables and penetrating the balances of the tulkun, including Roa and her youngster. Subsequent to gathering their material from her, Ronal and the other meat hyena show up, and Ronal howls in distress at the deficiency of her spirit sister and her youngster. Ari and Ronal, alongside many furious meat hyena, turn their wrath toward Jake for driving the bad guys to their property, as they most likely were aware would occur. At the point when Jake brings up that the Tulkun will be set apart for death with the whalers' trackers, he advises the meat hyena to caution the Tulkun before a greater amount of them are killed. Lok takes off to caution Payagan, in spite of Neteyam's admonitions against it. He follows his sibling, alongside Siraya and Aanong, and afterward Kiri and Tuk. They track down Payagan, currently hit with a tracker. Neteyam contacts Jake to alarm him, and he and Neytiri head off to safeguard their children. The whalers start their assault, pursuing the children and Tulkun. Jake and Neytiri are joined by meat hyena champions in the battle. The children are caught in the battle and are kept locked down on the vessel. At the point when Jake and company show up, Quaritch orders him to remain down, holding Lok at gunpoint to show he's not kidding around. Jake plans to give over himself until Payakan sees his spirit sibling in harm's way, so he jumps out of the water and hurls down onto the vessel, bringing a few whalers down simultaneously. The Na'vi utilize this second to rush into fight. With assistance from Payagan and the meat hyena, they can kill the majority of the whalers. Scoresby endeavors to spear Payagan, yet he figures out how to fold the wire over their boat, killing the men and cutting off Scoresby's arm all the while. The children escape, and Kiri utilizes her powers to control the sea climate to kill a few whalers. Insect likewise turns on different people and rejoins his Na'vi family. Amidst the fight, Neteyam salvages his kin and their companions, yet he is shot. The family gets to a stone where they endeavor to help Neteyam, however he surrenders to his injuries. Neytiri cries in despair at the deficiency of her child, and the remainder of the family is crushed. Quaritch contacts Jake, uncovering he has Kiri and Tuk as his prisoners. Jake makes a beeline for the sinking vessel for the last standoff, joined by Neytiri, Spider, and Lok. Neytiri heartlessly butchers Quaritch's group in revenge for Neteyam, similarly as Jake goes to confront his adversary. After Jake liberates Tuk, Quaritch rises with Kiri and a blade to her throat. Neytiri snatches Spider and undermines his life consequently. Despite the fact that Quaritch attempts to deny his consideration and relationship with the kid, he yields and allows Kiri to pursue. Neytiri cuts Spider across his chest. Neytiri carries the children to somewhere safe, and Jake chooses to end it with Quaritch, battling until the very end. The vessel begins to descend totally, catching the family submerged. Jake battles Quaritch until he figures out how to get him in a stranglehold and let him sink submerged. Lok finds his dad, who advises him to do without him since Jake doesn't figure he will make it. However, Lok assists him with breathing the manner in which Siraya showed him, and they escape with Payagan. In the interim, Kiri calls the submerged animals to assist her with getting Neytiri and Tuk out of there. Spider swims to save Quaritch, however he leaves him for his underhanded deeds and rejoins Jake's family, with Jake authoritatively taking him in as a child. Jake gets ready to say goodbye to Ari, however he lets Jake know that he and his family are meat hyena now and are free to remain. The family then, at that point, holds a memorial service for Neteyam, where his body is given to the Tree of Spirit, and they are informed that he is presently with Iwa. Jake and Neytiri interface themselves to the tree, where they can see Neteyam through recollections. Jake, perceiving this land as his family's new home, promises to keep on doing battle and safeguard them,